Mr. Nix is in the house. What's up, brother? I appreciate you, Mr. Nix. I got a chance to talk to Mr. Nix last night, man. Good brother right here. Mr. Anthony, how are you doing, brother? How are you doing? Y'all come on in. Come on in. What's happening, Christian? Not much going on with me, man. Not much going on with me. It's a good Wednesday. It's a good Wednesday. Y'all come on in. Kaizen, how you doing, brother? How are you doing? Good afternoon, Mr. Wade. What's the word for the day? Not much, man. It's a good Wednesday. That's what it is. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna get started early today. Well, not early, but on time. We're gonna talk about it. That's what we're gonna do, Kaizen. We're gonna talk about it. King Jaffe. King Jaffe's in the house too, man. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We got black men in the house too, man. Come on in, guys. Come on in, man. You know, this is going to be an interesting show because I'm going to do a call and I want y'all to talk to me, man. I want y'all to talk to me. Sean Collins is in the house. Good afternoon, Mr. Wade. I appreciate your comment. Sean, thank you so much for coming in. King Jaffe says he's here at work doing some system admin work. Get that work done, man. Don't let them find out you're watching me on YouTube. Oh man, I hear you, man. I hear you, King Jaffe. King Jaffe says he's at work doing some system admin work and he's getting it done, brother. I appreciate you, man. We got Travis Wilson in the house too. Good afternoon. Wasn't expecting free game today, but perfect timing. Man, you know what? I'm gonna put it like this. Today's show is really gonna be about you guys giving me some input and stuff like that too, man. I thought this would be a good topic because, as you guys know, I coach quite a bit of clients, and I mean, I have a pretty good network of brothers of mine that I spend some time with, and we are on WhatsApp, and we are talking about all sorts of stuff from investing to real estate to, you know, cryptocurrencies and all sorts of stuff. And one of the things that keeps coming up is, you know, us being scared to move around or to ask for the bag or to get to the bag. And there's a specific reason. What's up, Courtney, man? What is up? Come on in. How are you doing, Courtney? Come on in. I'm glad that you guys are here with me on this Wednesday. Guys, we're gonna rock out. We're gonna make this a good show. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, man. It's Wednesday. Let me do something. Let me put my glasses on, man. Get this reflection from out of my face. Guys, I got lights all over this thing. And one thing I'm trying to figure out with my home office here in my studio, in the setup that I have, is, you know, if I'm overdoing it with the lights because it's starting to bounce off my face and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, I got to get this all figured out in different camera angles and all that sort of stuff. Like if I hit this camera angle right here, right, it's not as light as the one that's in the front. So I got to figure that one out. I'm getting all that stuff figured out. I got to play around with this equipment here in the office, guys. Anyway, we got Sean in the house. We got Courtney in the house. We got Steven in the house. How you doing, Steven? Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday. We got Anthony says that's because they immediately start lying as soon as you fix your lips to talk about it. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. First, let me do this. Let me do some housekeeping. Shout out to the patrons, Mr. Nix. Shout out to Jabron. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Rob, Master IT. Shout out to all my premium patrons that are rocking with me on the patrons. Man, I really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for all your support. If I'm missing somebody, I'm sure I am missing some folks as well too. Maybe I should have wrote down a whole list of names here. But guys, if you are a Patreon member, I really appreciate you. And thanks for being part of the inner circle and help build this thing. Guys, if you aren't a Patreon member, I only have 4 premium memberships left. And once I have filled those 4, that's going to be it. And the people who are in that in a premium membership, man, they get direct access to me and part of my brain trust and while we build this thing out. But not only that, we're looking to take we're looking to have an event later on next year where we all get together in either Austin or Houston or something like that, since a lot of people who are in the Patreon group do live in Texas. So that's a good thing. But anyway, guys, if you aren't a Patreon member, go ahead and join the Patreon where you get exclusive access to me and exclusive content as well too. Secondly, let me do this. Guys, go ahead and hit that like button as you come in to this show today, guys. I would really appreciate you guys hitting that like button. That definitely helps us with the growth of the channel. And as you guys have all been part of the growth of the channel, continue to hit that like button as it is free. Let me jump into this topic of today, imposter syndrome. And as I mentioned, guys, a lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome. I am one who suffers from it as well too. And in this chat today, I'm going to be talking about ways or what is imposter syndrome. I'm going to be talking about, how it impacts us in the workforce. Not only that, I'm going to be talking about how are there ways that you can overcome imposter syndrome based on my experience and so forth. So we're going to get into that. But I also want to do this. I want to hear from you guys because I'm seeing a lot with the people I talk to, coaching clients, people in corporate America, doesn't matter race, ethnicity, or anything like that. A lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome. They have no idea, why they're in the roles that they are in. They have no idea, or they're scared to move up. They are, suffering from a bit of fear to go and get the bag, guys, to go and get the bag. And we talk about that a lot on this channel, so that you can grow your earnings and your net income, right? And use that to invest in order for you to do things later on in your life and to set yourself up for a good, solid future. That is, I said future. So it's important. It's important to continue to climb in corporate America. And in order for you to climb in corporate America, you have to have a good amount of soft skills, but you also have to be fearless as well too. So with being fearless, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to remove roadblocks and get outside of your own head when things come up. And let me just say it like this. There are 70% of Americans who have experienced imposter syndrome in their lives or in their careers. So let's talk about what is imposter syndrome. Let's talk about that first. Let me get a definition out there first. So if I was to really define imposter syndrome, I would define it as when people feel like they are frauds. When people feel like they are frauds, when they have the intellect and they are professional, but they feel like they are frauds. And people who are experiencing imposter syndrome, they feel like they are not good enough, like they don't belong, right? And that they are a fraud, and that it's only a matter of time that somebody is going to find out about them and that they're going to be embarrassed. So they live in a world of fear. And a lot of them end up really choosing the safe bet within their career versus choosing what their dream job would be or what would allow for them to get to the bag. Let me repeat that. They fear and choose the safe bet. They choose a safe bet versus going towards something or a position that's going to allow for them to really get to the bag. And let me repeat the definition again. It is someone and people who are experiencing, right, that they feel like a fraud. They are intellectually there. They are a professional. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they don't belong. And that is the feeling of imposter syndrome. And many of us have had that feeling before. I was watching a interview by Michelle Obama, somebody who is as accomplished as her. I believe she has a law degree and so forth, right? Somebody who is as accomplished as Michelle Obama. After she wrote one of her books, I remember seeing an interview some time ago about her saying that she felt like she had imposter syndrome. And if it was somebody that, who was as accomplished as Michelle Obama felt it, right? She felt that at sometimes she didn't have the abilities and the power, and she had a lot of responsibility, and that she was doing work to impact people, but she felt like at times that she was a fraud, and that she doesn't know how she got into a position like this. And a lot of us face that. I faced it myself. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why I delayed myself going into sales was because I felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't a person that was a salesperson. I had every single fear that was out there when the position was offered to me. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know. And it wasn't until, I really thought about it and had a conversation with my wife. And she was like, you can do this. And she was like, if I can do it, you can do it. And my wife was in sales. I think I've told you guys that story before, but she became my coach. And it was an opportunity for me to learn a lot from her, but also to get rid of my fear and to have a little bit more of a comfort in order for me to make the right decision to go into sales. And I can tell you like this, it's been a fantastic decision with me making that decision to go into sales. And a lot of you probably are in your career right now, knowing that you should be doing more, knowing that you can do more, knowing that you should be in a management position, knowing that you should be in a vice president or a chief officer position. And for some reason, you feel like you don't belong. And if that's the case, you are suffering from imposter syndrome. And what that ends up doing is it stops you from getting to the bag. Because here's the thing, guys. Choosing the safe bet is not going to take you out of your comfort zone. Choosing the safe bet is only going to put you on the trajectory of making the money that you know you're going to make. If I would have stayed into the role of vice president of customer success, I would have been making $170,000 a year, still had a bonus, still was getting equity and so forth. Well, the fact of the matter is, I would have had a paycheck and a standard bonus and some equity. But I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to see what people can make in sales and the amount of money that you can make in sales if I wouldn't have chosen to go and do that, right? So I got myself out of my comfort zone. I had to force myself out of my comfort zone, although there was a bit of fear that was there. And a lot of us are feeling that as well too. And I'm probably resonating with some of you because you're sitting in business analyst roles, system analyst roles, software engineer roles. You want to do something, but you just don't know how, or you don't know if you belong in that group. And what I'm seeing as well too is this. A lot of us, a lot of us have so much skills and so much expertise. We fear going into management because we feel like we don't belong. We fear going into leadership because we feel like we don't belong. And guys, and guess what that ends up doing? That ends up hurting us all, because if we don't see it, if we don't see examples of people like us into these management and leadership positions, into these corporations, you know what ends up happening is, right? What ends up happening is you are repeating the cycle. You can't pull people up. You can't pull people up. Therefore, the things that you're complaining about, diversity and inclusion and so forth, is not going to get changed. It's not going to get changed because we don't have people who are willing to get outside of their comfort zone and to do what's right for the greater good. So let me talk about something. Let me talk about something right here. Causes of imposter syndrome in the workforce for many of us. And I'm going to throw out statistics out there for you guys. The statistic that I've shown, or the statistic that I've found about blacks in senior leadership roles in corporate America. Obviously, we know that there's a lack of representation in IT. Well, let me explain how bad it is from a diversity and inclusion perspective. There's a lack of representation in senior leadership roles across IT, across all companies. There's only 3.2% of senior leadership who are black. And this is a 2020 study. Only 3.2%. And a reason that this is like this is because a lot of us are just scared to move up of what may happen, what may happen. They think they may be fired. They think they have some experience from their uncle who went into management and got treated the wrong way. So they're scared to go towards that direction. A lot of us have the aptitude. A lot of us have the intelligence to do so, but we choose not to because we have a bit of fear, another form of imposter syndrome. Here's another thing. 58% of black professionals report having experienced racial prejudice in the workforce. Is that true? Could be true. It could be just the fact of the matter is that people said things in the workforce that were cut, dry, was directly to the point, and it could have hurt some feelings. So they recorded that as being something that's, prejudice and so forth. But when that statistic is out there and you read that statistic, what it ends up doing is it causes us the fear to go into that leadership roles as well, because people are saying, if 58% of black professionals are saying that they experience some form of prejudice in these leadership positions, that's not going to help the cause of other people wanting to get in these positions, because people are going to naturally say, when you get in these rooms and you get in these positions of power around other folks who don't look like you, whether they are whatever ethnicity that exists, they're going to say, okay, well, there may be some prejudice. And at the end of the day, a lot of it is just your own perception. A lot of the times I've had multiple times in my career when I look back at it, and I thought that somebody said something that could have been prejudice or racially driven. If I look back at it with a different lens on, that was not the case. It was just me being in my emotional state at that point in time to take it that way and to not have an open mind towards certain things. Okay. And there are times where it could be, right? And I'm not going to discount those situations as well. But what I would say, as somebody who's gone up to the VP level, 2 levels away from a CEO in a company, it's over 5,000 employees, I can tell you this right now, it's very rare. It's very rare. Just like it's rare for me to experience some sort of prejudice or some sort of racial issues outside into the normal world, it's very rare for you to experience that in the corporate world as well. But if you see it, that's what you're looking for, then you're going to find it. And you're going to think people are attacking you. You're going to think all this other stuff. So I just wanted to make sure I clarify that. Here's another piece of it though, guys. The lack of support. So professionals, black professionals specifically, may lack access to higher level managers and professional development resources. And the reason why they lack access to it It's because you don't find more of us in those positions. A lot of us aren't willing to take the step to getting into positions to pull the person behind us up. I was talking to Mr. Nix the other day, right? One of the things, Mr. Nix is a fantastic guy, over 41 certifications. Fantastic brother, right? I was talking to him last night. One of the things he said was, Antoine, I have all the technical skills, but the skills that I don't have is the skills that you talk about a lot of the times, the soft skills, the pulling people back or pulling people up. And what Black Heights is a company that's looking to help people make the decision to move up, but also to throw a rope back to help people come up as well too. So I call it like this. I call it, I'm a gem seeker. A gem seeker is somebody who has a vision to look for people who are unpolished, to look for unpolished gems, people who may not come from a solid background, people who don't come from, money and things like that. But one of the things I always keep my eye out on is for people who are hidden gems, because at one point in time, I was a hidden gem. And the people who noticed this hidden gem were people who were gem seekers. And I got to say this, guys, as well, is that these gem seekers, some of them were my race and my ethnicity and my religion, but the majority of them were not. So here's the thing. It's our responsibility in the IT field, in the IT world. We got many of us that is watching this show at this point in time. It's our responsibility to get to these positions. Here's the thing. You want to be the change that you want to see. You want to be the change that you want to see. So if you want to improve the diversity numbers, it only takes for one of us to go into these management positions to help somebody else out. You guys saw the live stream that we did last Saturday with Steven Stern. Well, Steven Stern only reported to 2 Black managers in his entire life. One on the Department of Defense side and myself. Well, Steven Stern and I, right, never met each other, but he interviewed with me, and I was able to basically double his salary when he came to work with me. That's how you pull people up. That's how you help others. That's how you say, okay, once you get into a position of power, a management position, you can make those hiring decisions. You can therefore promote people who look like you and who don't get a lot of the opportunities. That's how you change the diversity numbers. I wanted to make sure I make that clear. That's how you change the diversity numbers. But it takes this. It takes you getting out of the way of your fears and your imposter syndrome that you have. Because the farther you climb up, the more money that you're going to make. And the further you climb up, the more people that you're going to be able to extend that rope to. So let's say this. The causes of imposter syndrome in society. Let's just talk about that. There's society messages that people of color don't belong, right? You hear it all the time. Oh my God, we don't belong in these areas. Well, that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. I'm an example of that. And I get into positions, and I can tell you this, a lot of the people who are in those positions, they don't belong. So the societal messages that we may be are listening to, they're completely wrong, right? And we need to make sure that we don't believe in those things. And we train our mind that it's false. It's false narratives. It's fear. It's driven on fear. Okay? A lot of times, what you're hearing from the society pressures and all this other stuff is that there's microaggressions, right? Right? Where, you may end up flying in first class or something like that. And you see a news or I see a video, right, where somebody's saying that somebody flying in first class who's Black, they aren't accepted up there. Well, that's a lie too. A lot of times I fly first class. And believe me, I'm bougie. And for the people who look like me or don't look like me, I'm bougie towards them as well too. Right? But here's the biggest thing is that there's just a lack of representation in these areas. And there's a lack of representation because a lot of us are scared to move in those directions. That's just what it is. And it's because of fear and imposter syndrome. We feel like we don't belong. But what if I was to tell you that you do belong? You do belong. You absolutely do belong. You belong everywhere where you want to be. And you have to make sure that your mind Your mind understands that. Let me jump over to the chat. Let me make sure you guys are listening to this. Let me get over to the chat, guys. We got I've been cooking for a quick little minute here, and I'm probably going on tangents, but let me get in here real fast. We have let me get my chat up here. Anthony Arrington. Let me get over here. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I got to get my stuff together. Let me go through here. Anthony Aaron says, that's because starting a meeting line officially. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's go back over here. All right. Then when do you leave when you go? I just smashed the like button. I really appreciate you, Horton. I really appreciate you, sir. Done and Done Raleigh says, good afternoon. We got Matthew Hurricane in the house. Aston is in the house as well, too. Whoever already gave you a dislike has a serious case of imposter syndrome. That's not, I appreciate that. At the end of the day, people don't like it. They just don't like it. That's just their own issue. Well, let's talk about this. Courtney says facts. This is lower than I thought. Agreed, BH. Dr. Dick said this. Dr. Dick says this. $4.99, and I appreciate the super chat. I wrote the CEO of my company to create a position for me. I had the balls to ask for what others won't. That's why I'm successful. I love it. I love it, Dr. Dix. I would expect that for a brother like you, right? Not to have that fear. To write to CEO, if there's something that you want, you have a discussion about it. Don't feel like you don't belong. I love that. I absolutely love that, and I appreciate the super chat, brother. All praises to Dr. Dix. Matthew Hurricane says, congrats, Dr. Dix. Hope you have further success. Christian says, what's good, Dr. Dix, and congratulations, fam. Ashton, I appreciate you. Says, someone once told me you are only what you allow yourself to be, and you are only held back by the limits you set for yourself. I realized I was my own worst enemy. Absolutely. I absolutely. That's what it is. And I talk to a lot of people a lot of the times, guys. And believe me, when I'm having conversations, I see they have the abilities. I mean, like I put like this, I'm a B student. And a lot of the folks that I talk to, man, they're freaking genius. They're freaking genius, man. Absolutely genius. I'm like, wow. Like all you got to do is put a plan out there. We can build a plan for you to get to the position that you want to get into. And a lot of these people should be in executive roles. And that's it. Mr. Nick says, I sure did. Excellent conversation. Dr. Dick says, they didn't create it, but I asked for it. See, that's the thing, right? Right? They didn't create it, but he asked for it, right? They didn't create it, but he asked for it. All you got to do is ask, guys. Ask for more. Ask for more. And a lot of the times you would be surprised what you're going to get, but a lot of us are scared to ask because we feel like that we're not going to get it. We feel like we don't belong. We feel like we don't have the abilities to do it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. I realize that everybody has the same sort of feelings. Somebody getting promoted to CFO who's never been a CFO before, and they've been let's just say a controller, right? I got a good buddy of mine who I work with, just promoted, right? And he doesn't understand why he's being promoted. Obviously, other people understand why he's being promoted. He does a really good job at that role, but he has fear of being in that role because he's never been in that role. It's the title that's causing the fear. Well, here's the thing with all of us. Once we get into a position, we can figure it out. We can figure it out. It's just we're in our own head a lot of the times before we even get the position. Oh my God, I'm not even going to go that way because I don't have the skills. I don't belong. A lot of people there aren't a lot of people who look like me. There aren't a lot of people who act like me. No, that's fear. That's imposter syndrome. That's causing you not to get to the bag. If you can go from $100,000 to $300,000 by taking on a role, would you do it? That's the question. A lot of us would say no because we're going to be afraid. We're going to think that we're going to be looked at as a fraud. Well, here's the thing. You're going to have 6 months. The majority of us are going to have 6 months to figure out how to do the job. And if you can't figure out how to do the job within 6 months, then maybe you are a fraud. But that's not the case with the majority of people. Doesn't matter how intellectual capacity is, they are able to figure it out within 6 months. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid at all. Brother Keep It Techie is in the house. I appreciate you, man. Brother Keep It Techie says, excellent discussion. I appreciate you, Brother Keep It Techie. Thank you so much for coming in. Another good brother of ours over here. A great YouTuber, by the way, guys. So go ahead and subscribe to Brother Keep It Techie. Fantastic content creator. Let's jump over here. Tyrese, would you recommend to get an MBA to get to that level? Here's the thing. To get to these levels, it depends on what company that you're at. Company culture is very important. There's a lot of unhidden things that's said in company cultures. I think you guys remember the conversation I had last week with Steven as well, too, right? One of the reasons why I chose to get my MBA was because I wasn't going to get to that VP title at the company I was at because I had somebody ahead of me. But the majority of the VPs had their MBA. So let's just say I stuck around. Yes, I had to get an MBA because that's the unspoken language at the company that I was at. The majority of them had the MBA. So yes, I had to get it. So for you, Tyrese, it really depends on your company. Don't just go out there and get an MBA because a lot of the times you're not going to be able to move up just by having an MBA. There has to be a reason why you should get an MBA. And that's what I talk about all the time in my videos as well too, is that you have to find a reason to go and do it because an MBA is expensive, man, especially if you go to a top 25 school. Mr. Noah is in the house. Another patron. I appreciate you, Noah, man. Thank you so much, brother, for being here. Good afternoon, Mr. Noah. Let's do this. Jay's in the house as well, too. He says, I'm against those narratives because they can not only harm people's self-confidence, but it also hurt a nation's economic system by denying people that opportunity. Absolutely. Those narratives are out there, though. Those narratives are out there, Jay. Those narratives exist out there. And that's what people... You hear it all the time. You hear our own people talking about it a lot of times too, creating that fear, that self-doubt that they can't be in these positions. And not only that, you see the news feeding into it a lot of the times too, where they'll show you, something in the news that happened once out of, 2 million times of frequent travelers, where you have, some lady questioning a guy who's in first class. Man, that shit don't happen. The majority of that stuff don't happen. You guys have flown first class before or business class and so forth. Nobody's going to come at you like that the majority of the time. So it's rare. It's rare. But what ends up happening is they show it, and guess what? It causes that fear. So we don't think we belong. Brother Gabe's in the house, man. I appreciate you, Brother Gabe. Brother Gabe says he sent the 99 super chat. Another brother of ours, right? Gabe is a manager in Accenture. He's taken on that leadership role, helping others out. Another example is somebody who's willing to become and find hidden gems. He threw a rope back to Brother Michael, Houston Phenom, to say, hey, you want to come on to Accenture one day after you graduate? Hey, you know what? Here's a rope. Here's a rope. He's a gem seeker. Jay Halo says, here's a really sad thing. People might say something stupid like you only got that job because you're black. Ignore that shit statement. You earned that position. That's it. That's true. And don't feed into that as well, too, because you got your own people saying the exact same thing. You only got that position because you're a token. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. You got that position because you are good at what you do. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your race, ethnicity, because you're going to get it other cultures too, because I was talking to my Malaysian friend the other day, Daniel, and the same thing happens in his culture and community as well too. You only got that position because X, Y, Z. Well, the people who say that, they're envious of you because they don't get into those positions either. Helmet Chili says, I had a guy argue with me saying, what you going to get rich or something? Got to push through the set point. Placed on myself, often by my social circle. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's important to be around people who are going to get it, because I'm going to get to how you can overcome the imposter syndrome. I'm going to get to that. I'm definitely going to get to that. Francis is in the house. Francis in the house. I appreciate you for coming through. Hope I'm not too late. Thank you, Antoine, for the representation. When and where can I schedule a mentorship meeting? You've helped me to feel more comfortable in my skin and the career change in MIS. I appreciate you, Francis. I really appreciate you. You can book a session with me, Francis, and just jump on the Black Kite site. And there's a book consultation, book mentorship button on that site where you can just click it and it'll instantly go there and you can book a session with me and book my time. Tyrese says facts. Hold on. Courtney, I appreciate you for the super chat, for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for bringing this my way, Courtney. I really appreciate you for being so generous with that super chat. Thank you so much again. Tyrese says facts. Let me continue on. Miss Wade, you got Francis taken care of. I appreciate you. Before the Beans is in the house, another good content creator, fantastic content creator. Before the Beans be doing these 8-hour live streams, man, he be getting it, man. I'd be like, man, wow, that's a long day. That's a very long day. But here's the thing. He's getting it done, and another brother of ours who's doing some fantastic things. Courtney, I appreciate you again. Let me continue on. So, common patterns among people experiencing imposter syndrome. So people who struggle with imposter syndrome, they basically share common traits, right? They share common traits. So what's prevalent among these guys is self-doubt, fear of being exposed as a fraud, and inability to own and internalize success. Let me repeat that, an inability to own and internalize success. They feel like a lot of the times others may self-sabotage them, right? They feel like they may self-sabotage themselves. They feel like a lot of times they're going to self-sabotage because there's a bunch of procrastination and negative self-talk and a feeling of perfectionism. Does that resonate with anybody? Let me know if that resonates with you. If you are afraid to move forward a lot of times because you feel like everything has to be perfect, you are suffering from imposter syndrome a lot of times. If you're always, if not always, but let me say if you find yourself talking negative in your head and giving yourself negative self-talks, then you are suffering from imposter syndrome. If you find yourself procrastinating from doing what you obviously need to get done to start that business, to apply for that job that you want, right? To go and talk to your manager about a promotion. If you find yourself procrastinating, you are suffering from imposter syndrome. You are suffering from imposter syndrome. You are self-sabotaging, guys. A question that I ask in my coaching sessions all the time before I take on a client is, what is it that you can potentially do to self-sabotage this situation? And a lot of them come back with, not listening and, not following your actions. And that's it. If you choose not to listen, if you choose not to follow the actions that we put together, that we work together to put forth for you, guys, you are self-sabotaging. There's a bit of imposter syndrome. You're fearing, what if you get to this position? What if somebody says yes? What if somebody says yes to you? You're fearing that because you are fearing what it feels like to be successful. Here's the thing. People in a new job, they, temporarily embark on moving up in a ladder and things like that. And they experience a lot of imposter syndrome in their lives. And I can say this right now, I'm a person that I experience it as well. If I was offered the chief diversity officer at the company that I work for, believe me, I'm going to suffer from imposter syndrome, right? I'm going to suffer from it because it's like, oh, why would I choose? Most people don't have the same background as a chief diversity officer. Most people come through HR and I don't have the HR experience and all this other stuff, right? Well, yeah, I'm going to feel that way. But here's the thing, it shouldn't stop you from moving forward. And if those feelings linger for a long time, then it's going to negatively impact you. I'm saying this, we all are going to experience this. We're all going to experience this. I don't think there's a person that, does not experience this sometimes in their career or in their life. However, you have to be able to move forward and you have to be able to talk to other people, one, mentorship, coaches, and so forth to help you with that issue that you're dealing with, whatever that may be. And you should have a partner that's going to help you with that as well too. That's what my partner did and helped me with making the decision to go in sales. So Now I'm going to talk about the tips that you can, use to overcome the imposter syndrome. And this is something that I talk about all the time, guys. And I said this over the weekend as well, too, on Sunday. Guys, if you struggle with imposter syndrome, you need to create a list of your own accomplishments and your attributes. And here's the thing. You need to create a list of your own accomplishments in those attributes. And you need to start speaking to other people about what you've accomplished before. You need to create a brag on me list because you are qualified. You have the qualifications. You are in a position because you deserve to be in that position. And you need to brag about yourself more. A lot of us, we choose not to brag about ourselves. We don't want to brag about ourselves. We don't want to talk about the great degree that we have, the great school that we came from, the diplomas, the accolades. Create a brag book. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. But keep your brags fresh. If you guys heard me on Sunday, you got to make sure your brags are fresh, but you have to create a brag on me list. Create a brag on me list, guys, to talk about your accomplishments and your attributes because you are worthy of it. You are the person that's responsible for those accomplishments and those attributes. You are the person who gained those skills. You are the person that, put in the amount of time to study at night. Or you are the person that went and got that certification. Brag on that, guys. Be happy with your accomplishments. Don't think that's, nothing that or something that everybody gets, because it's not the case. Everybody doesn't do it. So if everybody doesn't do it, you should talk about it. And don't let popular culture say, act like you've been there before. Yes, in some capacity, you want to act like you've been there before. You don't want to be walking around. That's all you talk about. But you know what I mean. You want to make sure that when you have the opportunity to talk about it, you talk about it and be proud of your accomplishments. Compile your awards, your diplomas, your accolades. Put it in your brag book. Keep it updated readily. Talk about it in your job interview. Talk about it in your annual performance review. Talk about it to your managers once a month. What is it that you accomplished? Brag on yourself, guys. Brag on yourself. Here's the thing, another way to do it too. Guys, you gotta practice positive self-talk. A lot of people repeat the saying to themselves like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. You know what I mean? Like, you go to work out, right? And you don't want to work out. And you're like, God, I got to get this done. That's you telling yourself that I can do this. I can do this. So you have to practice the positive self-talk. It's no different than getting a workout. And don't let the negative talk creep into your head. Tell yourself that you can do it because you can do it. You can certainly do it. Humans are capable of doing a lot of things. Put them in a position and you will figure it out. But a lot of us just don't want to be in that position. Tell yourself you want to be in that position. Tell yourself you can do it. That's another way. Practice positive self-talk, guys. Another way is to own your accomplishments, right? A lot of us who struggle with imposter syndrome, we are quick to attribute our successes to others. We don't want the spotlight shined on us. We're very quick to say, and here's a story right here, guys. I'll tell you something like this. So it was in our fiscal year ends February 28th, and I tell you guys, I was a two-time president club qualifier. Anyway, I had to speak to the entire company, and about 2 weeks before the presentations, we had to do a dry run with our executives and all this other stuff, right? And during the pre-presentations, I'm talking about other people because I don't like to talk about myself. That's just quite naturally, I find it to be difficult a lot of the times, right? I find it to be quite difficult a lot of times. I don't like to talk about myself, especially in the sales role, because here's the thing. When you're in sales, you have to put people in positions who are knowledge experts, and you got to let them shine. And you got to let them do what they do. So solution consultants, sales consultants, solution architects, all that stuff. Let them be the subject matter experts who have the years of experience and the know-how to implement software and to roll out software and to talk to customers about the challenges that they may be facing. You got to let them do what they do. But here's the thing. When a customer buys from you, because you don't sell to a customer, the customers buy from you, your reward is your paycheck. Your reward is your paycheck. So everybody else isn't rewarded like you. Nobody else who was part of the sale makes $500,000 or $1 million a year. Nobody else does that. Solution architects, sales consultants, they don't make that amount of money. So in my situation, I gave the majority of people who were part of my largest sale credit, and I didn't talk a lot about myself. Well, it wasn't until after the presentation was over, the question came up, Antoine, so what did you do? You should be talking about some of the things that you did so that other sales professionals can learn from you. And he had a very good point. I flew to 6 different countries multiple times. I stayed overnight away from my family. I sat down, understand the customer's process. I broke bread with some of my customers and some of the top executives, taking them out. 12 o'clock at night, drinking wine and so forth. I did a lot of stuff, but I chose not to talk about that stuff initially. But here's the thing, you have to own your accomplishments. You have to own them. You have to talk about the reason why you're having the success is because of you. And instead of saying the only reason that you accomplished this was because of the luck or help from a colleague or the team, recognize your efforts. And that's something that I had to learn how to do too. I said, you guys wouldn't have been able to get this deal closed if I wasn't on this. And it's the truth. It's the truth. If it wasn't for my leadership, this deal wouldn't have got done, no matter how much I put people in a position of power to win. And no matter how much I managed the situation, this deal wouldn't have got done. So that's something that I learned myself. You have to own your accomplishments. And if you struggle to do this, make a list. Make a list of the things that you accomplished that day, that week. And it's it's powerful for boosting your self-confidence. I told you guys Sunday as well too. I'm going back to my Sunday conversation. Guys, I just closed a $300,000 deal. I got another deal that I'm going to be closing at the end of this month that I'm working on right now. That's worth over $3 million. Well, here's the thing. The fact that I closed a $300,000 deal, it's building my self-confidence. And yes, other people was part of that. But I know it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me. So own your accomplishments, guys. It's powerful. It's a way that you can really help with your imposter syndrome and really help you with your overall self-confidence. Okay, here's another one. Another one is this. Accept that it's okay to make mistakes, guys, because a lot of us think that everything has to be perfect. A lot of us think that everything has to be perfect. And perfectionism, and imposter syndrome often go hand in hand. Oh my God, I got to have this course ready 100% in order for me to sell it. Or I have to have this certification in order for me to apply for this job. Who said that to themselves? If you guys have said that to yourself, let me one in the chat. I got to get this certification, although I know that I'm qualified for this job already. Oh man, I need to go get this cert. Oh man, I need to go get this cert. Oh man, I need to go get this degree. Who said that to themselves before? I need to go get this. I need to go get that in order for me to apply for that position. Perfectionism. It needs to be perfect in order for you to move forward. That's not the case because nothing will. Nothing will be perfect. And here's the thing. Oftentimes, you're going to want to exceed people's expectations, and that's healthy. Striving to be perfect is really unrealistic, guys. If you're striving to be perfect, it's really going to be It's unrealistic. You can't be perfect. You're going to screw up. And if you try to be perfect, you're going to create a whole bunch of anxiety and exhaustion on yourself. And it's going to enhance that sense of imposter syndrome and make you feel like you are a fraud. So it's okay to make mistakes, guys. It's okay for it not to be perfect. It's okay for you to apply for that job without a certification. It's okay for you to apply for that position without having a master's degree. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. So those are the ones that I wanted to talk about, guys. Create a brag on me list. You got to brag about yourself, man. You got to have positive self-talks with yourself. I can do it. I know I can do it. You guys have been in those tough workouts before, man. You're like, God darn, how in the world I'm going to get through this? You're getting the crap beat out of you. Like, oh, I got this. And when you're out of it, you're like, man, I got it done. Own your accomplishments. Don't say, and this is something that I want you guys to be comfortable with. Own your accomplishments. I'm not saying going around and saying and taking people's credit. But if you guys did something, if you're a manager especially, or if you're a person who is an individual contributor and you are responsible for an individual assignment and you went and got help, well, and it turned out to be a successful assignment, you are responsible for that assignment, no matter how much help you got. Own your accomplishments. That's smart to go and get help if you need to get help. But just don't say that your colleague was responsible for getting it done and getting it over the hump. Say, no, I got it over the hump. Own your accomplishments. It's a powerful way for you to build that self-confidence and really get rid of the imposter syndrome. Accept that you're going to make mistakes. We aren't going to be perfect. Nobody is. I can't go a day without making mistakes. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I was supposed to update a contract yesterday and I thought I had it updated. Sent it into Salesforce before you know it, the wrong SKUs was on it. Uh-oh, too bad. Fix it this morning. Lost 24 hours, but that's what happens. Own your mistakes. Accept that you're going to make mistakes. When you're going to be put in a position and you know there's an opportunity for you to get promoted, don't think about you're going to make mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes. Don't think that you have to know it all, because you're going to have to learn how to grow. That's the only way that you're going to learn how to grow. You're going to make mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, don't beat yourself up about it. Try not to make the same mistake over and over again, but mistakes are an opportunity to learn. Celebrate your achievements, guys. It's important. Let me jump over to the chat. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me today, man. I appreciate you guys. NC workers in the house. Darkman Jeff C-Suite. My man Darkman Jeff is in the house, man. I appreciate it. Darkman Jeff is in the beautiful state of South Carolina, Charleston to be exact. I love Carolina, man. Good place, definitely a good place. Mr. Nick says C-Suite equals executive leadership. Darkman Jeff, C-Suite, yes. C-Suite is the executive levels. So this is chief financial officer, chief diversity officer, chief legal officer, CEO, chief financial officer. Those are those positions that I'm talking about. Brother Keep It Taking says, exactly. Pat yourself on the back sometimes. You have to. You absolutely have to. Jay Halo says, congrats, Black Heights. I appreciate that. Aston, yes, you said that. I appreciate you. Look, Cornelius said one. NC Worker said one. Wayne Wilson, he said he sent a cash up. I appreciate you, Wayne Wilson. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for sending me the cash app, man. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Riley said one. Mr. Kojo said one. Wayne Wilson said, I'm striving to be the best me. Absolutely. You have to. You have to. And you have to talk to yourself that you are the best at it. You have to talk to yourself that you are in the position that you're in and you can go and do more. And you should be asking for more as well too. And you have to tell yourself that you can do it. And you have to brag sometimes. I love the brag book, man. You gotta talk about your accomplishments, man. Jay Halo says, okay, I'm not qualified. However, I did think a few times, even if I have that degree, I still will need so many certifications before I even consider applying. You're absolutely right. So that's the thing, Jay. That's suffering from imposter syndrome. Okay, I'm not qualified. However, I think a few times, even if I have that degree, I still will need so many certifications. Absolutely. A lot of us think like that. We go and look at a job description and it has all this stuff on it, right? And let's just say we have 2 to 3 skills. And we're like, nah, man, I got to go get certifications for all this. No, a lot of times you don't. So a lot of times what you end up doing is you end up not applying for that role. Or you are within the company and you're applying for it, or you have an interest in an internal role. And it's on the job post and however your company does it. A lot of you, just because from reading the description, you may not apply because you don't think you have all the skills. Oh my God, I need to go get my MBA. Oh my God, I need to get this certification. I need to go get that certification. Imposter syndrome, guys. Apply. And if it comes to a point where you get that position, you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out, guys. Let's get back here. Black Tech Ohead says, strive to be great, not perfect. I love that. I love that, Black Ohead. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Jonathan says, real talk, man. Halo says, I'm going to have to go. This is one of the best live streams I've ever watched. I'm sending this video to my friend who may suffer from imposter syndrome. I wish you all luck. I appreciate you, man, Jay. Thank you so much for stopping through, my man. Riley M says, all very true. I just landed a job that almost doubled my salary and took me over 6 figures. No HR degree, no certification. I thought it wasn't possible to ask. Why not? Exactly. Riley, and congratulations, Riley. A big congratulations for just doing it. A big congratulations for just doing it. You have no idea what's on the other side. You have no idea a lot of times what's on the other side. Man, if I would have just said no, I wouldn't have been a millionaire at all if I wouldn't have gone into sales. I would have been like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Wouldn't have been there. It would have took me a lot longer to do that. Riley says he just doubled his job. Look at that. I just landed a job that almost doubled my salary. It took me over 6 figures. No HR degree, no certification. I love it, man. I appreciate you, Riley. Thank you so much. We got brother Master IT in the house, a good brother of mine, Rob. I appreciate you guys. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Master IT yet, go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Great content creator. And here's the thing. If you are looking to get in IT, we got 2 brothers who will help you out with that. Master IT is one of them. He's going to help you with the certifications and so forth. Fantastic instructor. Smart man. Very, very smart man. Knows how to do it. Knows how to instruct. Knows how to teach. You're going to be guaranteed to pass if you follow his courses. Kev IT Support is another one. Another fantastic content creator that's out there who does a fantastic job as well too. Great, great people. Wayne Wilson said, accepted that sales position. No way. That's awesome, man. That is awesome, Wayne. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you, man. That's wonderful, man. Rallium says this, don't ask why. Ask why not. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. We got a super chat as well too for $10. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I wish I understood. It looks like Japanese, but I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. If you check all the boxes in the job description, you're overqualified. Ooh, Riley, you hit that one on the head. Wow. If you check all the boxes on the job description, you are overqualified. Wow. Think about that, guys. You know how a lot of times they tell you don't ever be the smartest person in the room because you're not pushing yourself to grow? Well, if you check all the boxes on the job description, you are overqualified. That shouldn't be a position that you're applying for anyway, unless you're at the tail end of your career and you got everything set up. You just want to make some extra money. He's right. I love it, Riley. I love it, man. I love it, man. That's hey, you know what? I got to put that back up there, man. I'm going to say this. You're right. You're right. God Among Men said, I appreciate the super chat, God Among Men. He says, 5D chess, advancing and coding ahead of my peers without taking the traditional routes or college by outperforming my peers and showcasing my own value. You set the bar for those around you. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You set the bar for the people that are around you. You show them how it's done. You become that example. You become that gem seeker. You reach back. But here's the thing, that positive influence, that people seeing that, it's infectious. People want that. People admire you. People are going to follow that. For your family members, your wife, your kids, your girlfriend. They admire that. It's fantastic when you're on your mission and you're going to get it done. Nobody wants to hear about somebody complaining about they're not going to reach for more success because they're scared. And here's another piece of it, guys. Here's another piece of it. That's why it's important. It's very important to have solid relationships, man. Because when we're suffering through this imposter syndrome, we need people to talk to. And they always say this, your network is your net worth. If you are married, the person that's next to you is part of your net worth as well, which is your spouse. And she's part of your network. And let me tell you like this, man. When you're suffering from imposter syndrome, there's nobody else who's going to encourage you more than your wife. There's nobody else who's going to encourage you more than your wife. You can do this. That's why it's important as well to be in a marriage. I'm not going to hit on that right now, but I'm just going to give you just that soundbite. When you're suffering from imposter syndrome, you don't think you can do it. You don't think you're good enough. You don't know why. You think you're a fraud. You think the success just randomly came from out of the air. She's going to say, the reason why you're in that position is because you did X, Y, Z. It's good to be reminded of that. We get fog in our head a lot of the times. We don't think we're valuable enough. Then your wife kicks you in the ass and say, you're ready. Go and get it done. Go and get it done. Let's continue on. Matthew Hurricane says, I'm going to post something in the Discord chat regarding the certification because that was a big discussion on LinkedIn today. Absolutely. Wayne says, congratulations. No, I appreciate the super chat, brother. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the super chat, the $9.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. No, another good brother, guys. Patreon member as well. Master IT is a Patreon member as well, man. I got all my Patreon members rocking with me today. Professor Black Ops, work on your craft. No imposter syndrome. Absolutely. Absolutely. But here's the thing, Professor Black Ops, you're right. Here's the thing. You working on your craft? A lot of times we forget. A lot of times things come fast for us. The question is, are we going to be ready to move forward, even though we might not think we're ready? When others say we're ready, we may not think we're ready. Work on your craft. You're absolutely right, brother. You're absolutely right. Professor Black Ops, another great content creator in the house. My big brother. I love this man. Always willing to drop in and get a game, man. Indianapolis, although his team isn't that good, but a good brother of mine. Very good content creator. Go and check out his channel, guys. Fantastic content creator. Big brother. Always willing to drop in and share some gems, man. Anthony Aaron says, that's food for thought on the statement with checking all the boxes. I love that. Absolutely. Thanks for all the congrats, everybody. Good afternoon, chat. Consider joining the Black Ops Patreon. Thank you, Miss Wade. I appreciate you. But guys, I'm going to do this. I got about a good 30 minutes or so. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what your opinions are on this. I want to hear if you're suffering from this. What have you done? What have you learned today? What are you going to do? Why is it such a challenge? Why is it such a challenge? Let's do this. Let me see if I can open this up. Let's see if I can open this up. I would love to hear from you guys today. I love talking to my people, man. Be the change you want to see. Go out there and get in those positions of power, man. You can do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't. Don't let the news tell you that you can't. Don't let anybody tell you you're not ready. A lot of the times, the people who are saying something, they haven't done shit. I'll say it like this. A lot of times, the people who say stuff, they haven't done it. They haven't done it. They just end up talking. All right, let's see if I can get this in here. Put the mic check. Okay, that looks like that's working. I'm gonna drop this in the chat, guys. I want to hear from you guys. If you guys want to come up, go ahead and get ready to dial into the Zoom. And this is just be a call in too. All right, here we go. Let's drop that in here. I'd love to hear from you guys. Imposter syndrome is real, but there's ways that you can handle it. There's ways that you can beat it. There's ways that you can have success with it. There's certain ways that you can have success with it, and I've shared that with you. Brag on yourself. Practice positive self-talks. Own your accomplishments. Perfection. No, there's no such thing. Strive to be great. I love that. Strive to be great. You won't ever be perfect. Celebrate your achievements. Don't listen to the people who haven't done it talk about it. Because a lot of the times they're just talking about stuff that they heard from years ago. Somebody, some uncle, some aunt, looking at the news. These are how these people are and all this stuff. Nah, you don't belong in those rooms. Well, hey, we got a lot of making up to do right now. I'll tell you that right now. 3.2% of us are executives. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something, man. Wayne Wilson's in the house. It says, Mr. Kojo says, this is some good game he's giving out. Mr. Wayne Wilson says, recently suffered from imposter syndrome. Then realized that half of the things listed can be learned while working. Currently shooting my shot and getting callbacks, interviews. Absolutely. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, Wayne. That's how you do it. Shoot your shot. All the things that are on these job descriptions, you can learn. When you're getting these positions, you're going to be able to learn it. You're going to be able to learn. And here's the thing. You've all been in that position before. You've been in the position where you've had success when you didn't think you were ready for it. So always think about that time. It could be the fact that when you became a software engineer, initially when you came out of college, you probably said, man, I'm not ready for coding. Well, you sat in that position for a good 6 months, and the next thing you know, you became a good coder. That was my example. That's what happened to me. It's like, yeah, I want to be a software engineer. Man, I got into that product development organization, was like, what is this? I'm not prepared for this. Boy, I had to learn. I had to figure it out. A lot of us have figured it out multiple times in our life, from being a father, being a husband, going to high school. It's no different than your first day in high school, man. Your first day in middle school, your first day in elementary school, you've had to figure it out. I like to simplify things quite a bit. A lot of times you have big responsibilities in these roles, but you can figure it out, guys. Move forward. It's important. Let me make sure I don't have anybody coming into the Zoom, because I think I'm supposed to let people in. I'm over here talking without watching it. But guys, it's important. It's very, very important in order for you to move forward, in order for you to get to the bag, guys. It's very important. And I appreciate you, Wayne. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Mr. Nick says, you are being an excellent inspiration, Wayne. Absolutely. No, when you first spoke about this on Patreon, I had to put my toot your horn list together. I appreciate you dropping the game in. You have to. Otherwise, nobody's going to do it. Otherwise, nobody's going to do it for you. Your mom ain't going to do it. Your mom can't do it. She can't do it to your employers. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Your wife can't do it because she's not around. Your girlfriend can't do it. No, it has to be you. It has to be you. So talk about your accomplishments. Create that list. What is it that you did last week that was fantastic? Don't let nobody shame you in talking about your success. Again, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. You want to do it at the right time. You don't want to be one of those braggarts that walk around and that's all you talk about yourself, and you don't get people an opportunity to talk. And all you do is talk about yourself. No, that's not it. You have to do it at the right times. And when you have the right time, you got to do it. When you're in front of that manager, you can do it. In front of the CEO, you can do it. Talk about yourself. Talk about you. Malik is coming in, man. We got brother Malik coming in. Let's give him a minute before he gets his volume on. I want to hear from you, brother Malik. Let's do this too. I'll put you over here just in case I do a screen share. Talk about you. Malik is coming in, man. We got brother Malik coming in. Let's give him a minute before he Hey Malik, do me a favor and turn off your YouTube, sir.
Okay.
Got it.
I just turned it off.
There you go. How you doing today, brother?
Pretty good. You can see me?
I can't see you right now, but that's okay. As long as I can hear you, it's perfect.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity. Yeah, I contact you on LinkedIn, we network, and like you said, LinkedIn is a great resource. Like, I'm looking around, I'm seeing brothers doing the work. I'm seeing brothers get positions,
right? Right.
Without even like the cert compensation. I put it in a Discord chat. Brother, some people are getting positions without the certs. Just because you have a whole list of certs doesn't mean you have experience. You could have crammed all that and put it on a resume. How can we verify that you actually got those certs? That's why I'm a huge advocate of tactile learning. And you brought it out. Yep. You can learn most of this stuff on the job training.
That's right. Like, I say this all the time, right? A lot of times we say we don't go to these positions, Malik, and it's like because, we need another cert. But here's the thing, right? Just because you have a cert, like you said, doesn't mean you're ready and doesn't mean you have the skills. It's no different than somebody who's getting a driver's license, right? And can't drive worth a damn. We see a lot of those people every day.
It's true.
It's true. It's absolutely true, man. Man, I love the fact that Malik and I have been chatting it up on LinkedIn, man, and he's joined on the Discord and Patreon as well. Another great Patreon member right here, guys. Join the group. Malik, what else you got for us, man? Talk about it.
So, like you said, toot your horn. Recently, I just got 2 certifications from my job force. Health Trust. I work for Health Trust. I'm a credentialing specialist, so I work from home. Verifying people's profile. So, for example, if you're a nurse and you want to work for us, I look at your criminal record, your background, your driver's license, your social security. I check all that stuff before you come work for the hospital to verify. So I recently got 2 certificates called Raise the Bar. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I've been putting in the work. My work ethic has been speaking for me. So I'm tooting my horn, like you said, like, guys, check it out. Look what I got from work. I'm doing the work. Hey, you're bragging. Hey, stop talking about that. You're making me feel bad. Whoa. These are what? The fruits of my labor. let me toot my horn. And I've been binge watching a lot of your videos and about the experience, the internship. Every day I'm applying for new positions. I'll even take an unpaid internship. Just let me get hands-on experience. Why? So I could be efficient. All right. Shout out to KS. Competence compensates. All right. The more skill levels you have, the more useful you are to the world.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to make myself useful. Every day I'm studying. I'm learning new techniques. I'm practicing. All right.
Man, that's how you do it. Malik. That is how you do it. You're the example. You're talking about it as well, man. I love it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it, man. Where can people, you got a channel, Malik?
No YouTube channel.
You got a LinkedIn, a Twitter handle or something like that where you can leave for the people to reach out to you?
Yeah, I have a LinkedIn, Malik Gerondon.
Yep. Drop that. You should drop that in the drop that in the chat just so people can reach out to you, man. Because there's going to be a lot of people like this, Malik, right? We have to be the example, right? At the end of the day, it's about connecting with people who are like-minded. And even if it's, we may not need each other for 6 years, we can always reach back and say, you know what? Man, maybe I can reach out to Brother Malik because Brother Malik is a CEO for a company right now, such and such. And you know what? People can be like, hey, Malik, you and I met through Antoine. That's the power of LinkedIn. That's the power of having these networks. That's the power of being in part of these communities like that. That's the power of being in the Patreon. It's important. It's important. Drop your hand in the in the chat, Malik, so people can look you up and so forth. And if they need to reach out to you, man, they can reach out to you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Anything else you got to say before you get back to work?
No, I just finished work. I was about to study and I saw your live stream, so I hopped on it. I'm like, I gotta get my flowers. But one last thing before I go, I want to give a shout out to the elders. Shout out to the brothers who are actually doing the work, saying we could do it too. You brought up the stats, 3.2%.
Yep.
We're underrepresented. We're not being shown too much. Why? Because like you said, imposter syndrome. We fear we can't do it. We have that victim mentality, like Anton brings out. We could do this, guys. Just as a man thinking so is he. Change your mindset. Come on. Be around like-minded people. You got Professor Black Ops. You got Gabe telling you could do this. You could do the work. Don't fool yourself. Do the work. That's it for today.
And here's the thing, Malik. When you do the work, you get to the bag. Professor Black Ops, 6-figure brother. Gabe, 6-figure brother. Myself, 6-figure brother. You get the bag when you do the work. It's as simple as that, Malik. You, 6-figure brother. Getting it done. That's it. And that's the thing. We need to. I love that you said that, man. I love that you say that. We can get to these positions. When you talk to these people, a lot of times in these top level positions, they put their shoes on the exact same way, pants on the exact same way. A lot of them aren't any smarter. They just got to that by being dedicated and doing the work. That's it. We belong in these positions as well, too. I appreciate you, Brother Malik, man. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing, man.
Thank you.
All right, brother. We got PBO in the house, my big bro, man.
What's going on, man? You know, I had to show up for real quick. How you doing, man? Shout out to Malik putting in work, man. I like that young brother. If you ever need cybersecurity, you can go through Black Heights and get to me or come to me directly, man. I'm an elder. I'm old as shit. So I came here to support y'all. So let me know what I could do for y'all, man.
Shout out to my big brother, Professor Black Ops, for coming on the show today in the middle of the day, man. I appreciate you, brother, man. You doing good today, man? What you got on the topic, my man?
Well, you know, we touched that on our channel, and you giving just great advice. I just, like Malik said, we can do it. We're here to help. There's a lot of brothers. You were naming them all out. I'm going to repeat them. We here to help you, man. And we in the trenches. We do this stuff for real, man. We make 6 figures. We in corporate America. We're not scared. There's no imposter syndrome. I'm not smart enough to have imposter syndrome. I'm just gonna throw that out, man. I think I'm great. So let's get it. Let's get the bag, man. So I just want to come up and support you. And if you know, I'm definitely gonna join the Patreon. So I'll definitely be in there in a minute. Then, you know, we're throwing up real estate, which is a totally separate topic. But on imposter syndrome, work on your craft, work on your confidence. As I work on my craft, I become more confident, right? So let's get it.
More competent. I love it.
Right. And 2 is you got elders here, so you can get us in the Patreon. You can get us, you know, one-on-one, and we give you game how to talk to executives, how to talk about a specific subject, you know, the verbiage you need to use, the technology you need to use. This is where you need to go get templates to do cybersecurity so you can have a portfolio of stuff on YouTube. And I can tell you how to build your portfolio up so you can point somebody to it. So you can show them that, you know, I got the skills, so therefore you won't have imposter syndromes. There's a lot of ways to do it, man. A lot of ways to do it.
And I can tell you this brother right here, he advises chief security officers. He advises CEOs. He advises CFOs. He advises people in the C-suite that we were talking about. Guys, if we can do it, you can do it as well too. And here's the thing: the game is already out there. The game is there. The game is there. It's no reason. It's no reason. I say this all the time, man. Climb that ladder, get to the money, however you want to get to it. There's no excuse. You got people out here who are the representations, and that's the thing. A lot of people say this before in the past. I don't think you had that much visibility into these into us before PBO. YouTube has been wonders, and not only that, we have so many people who represent now where we are being that example. Not only that, we want to talk about it. That's the thing. We want to talk about it. We want to help. We're throwing out that rope to say, you know what, follow us, or either one. You don't have to follow us. You can do it your own way. But if you need to take a shortcut, get some game from us.
Right. And you know, there's been times in the past, you know, I'm old. There wasn't no YouTube, there wasn't no Google. You were actually pulling out manuals off the shelf, man. Wasn't nobody to talk to. Like you said, you got YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm finally getting on Twitter. I'm old, but I'm gonna get my black Twitter tech on. So there's just so many ways to do it. LinkedIn. You know, I might do a TikTok on accident, man. Let's get this going, man. There's a lot of ways to get it, man. A lot of ways to get it.
You're absolutely right, brother. Oh man, you're absolutely right. You know what? I say this, PBO. I'm not going to do TikTok, man. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not going to.
No, come on, man.
I can't say that. That means that I'm not growing. Maybe one day I'll get into that game, but right now I'm kind of like, I'm going to stay away from TikTok.
But then you do it. I thought I saw YouTube Short. Didn't you do a couple YouTube Short?
No, not me.
Okay, I thought you did it. I mean, it's 60 seconds. You can put it on YouTube or TikTok or both. So I keep saying I'm gonna do a YouTube Short. That's me wishing me on you. Yeah, I ain't done one yet either, man. I need all the watch hours I can get. I can't give my watch hours away for free.
Hey man, you gotta be like before the beans, man. Get those 8 hours live streams going,
I'm
man.
too old for that, man. I almost fell asleep. I was supporting young brother. It was 10:30. I was dozing off. I'm like BTB. I gotta get out of here. I'm old, but I try to support him. Yeah, he be on 8. And shout out to TLA, man. They be battling with 9 hours and 10-hour live streams. I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't think I could get that much love, man. That's a lot of love.
That's a lot of love, man. I think, I have a lot going on in a typical day, so I couldn't do it myself. But I get it. If you have the time to do it, man, why not? I'm like, that's how you get your watch time up as well too. But not only that, that's how you build engagement with your audience. So I love that they do that.
Fast. Yeah, I do 2 hours, and that's a lot for me. I've done 3 a couple times, but man, 8, 9, and 10. I think BTB went 10 one time, man. Wow. I was like, you crazy, man. He young though.
Got that stamina.
Yeah, he young though, man. I told BTP I got sweaters older than him, man. So I needed that, man. I can't do that. Shout out to him, but I'm trying to go 2 to 3, man. That's as much as I can get, man.
You like me, man. You like me. You know what ends up happening? If I go 2 hours, my wife start calling, and next thing you know, my kids start making the noises because they can only hang on for so long.
Oh, facts, man. Facts, though. But the minute you're going to want to do her things with the kids, they're going to tell you stay on 10 hours, and they just going to need a credit card. They'll be all right. They can go on a shopping spree while you doing your 8 hours. But no, like you said, tell the guys to get it, man. It's out here to get it. Like I said, you got me thinking differently. Antoine got me thinking a little differently, man. I was kind of selling them at the 8% mark, man. So I might need to keep moving up, man. I was kind of coasting a little bit.
You know, we can all get it, man. It doesn't matter. We can all get it, man. And I put like this. Facts. Another way that we can get it is the way how we're getting it. We're creating channels, creating content. This is going to leave a lot behind. This is going to, it's valuable content. This is content that people are going to pay for and so forth. And that's how you do it. I mean, that's just how you do it. There's always, opportunity to grow, build your real estate game up, build your housing game up, your long-term investments, your retirement up. You got to get it, man. That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Yeah, we waiting on that 1031 from you, man. We're waiting on the 1031.
Hey, man, that 1031 exchange video, you're going to get that. That's going to be a Patreon video, man. Enjoy the Patreon.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to enjoy the Patreon. And the reason I brought it up, too, is not for me, man. A lot of young guys, they were asking, what's 1031? I was like, Antoine about to give you some more game, man. I'm setting him up. I'm putting it on the tee so you can knock it out. I said, what about that bird? What's the bird?
You know what? Let me just explain what the 1031 exchange is, guys. So a 1031 exchange is basically this, right? So it's a way how you can roll over the assets that you have, whether it's sold. So let's just say this, right? You own a property and let's say it's 100,000, right? You bought that house at $40,000. Well, that's a $60,000 gain. Okay. Well, what a 1031 allows for you to do is instead of you having to pay taxes on that $60,000 that you've gained, you're able to take that money and delay paying taxes on it because you rolled it over into another real estate asset or some other sort of asset. So that's what a 1031 exchange allows you to do. It allows for you to save your dollars, your dollars from getting taxed by rolling it over into another asset that's going to gain you additional wealth. So that's a quick bit on it, and I'll talk about that in one of my Patreons, man, because a lot of people are interested in real estate. and that I found out on Sunday, man, when you brought it up about Burr as well as 1031, man. I'm like, man, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, so I knew you had all info. So like I said, we got to get the young guys getting some of that real estate game. So
real estate game is good, man. That's how you build the wealth. That's how you build the wealth, man.
So yeah, you'll see me on a Patreon in a minute. Like I said, I'm knocking out a couple things. Then we definitely get there. Then somebody put in a chat. Yeah, I'm definitely going to the cloud. My next thing is going to be an SRE in the cloud and to become a cloud architect. So I think that's going to be my next push for my next 10 years. So
man, that's wonderful. You check this out. You check this out, bro. Professor Black. Let me get up here. You got brother Jabron in the house as well too.
Oh,
man.
shut up.
We got our brother Jabron in the house, man. Check him out. Let me get over here. 1 second, man. Jabron, what did Jabron say? Hold on. Noah says, when you first spoke about the Patreon, I had to put on my toot my own horn list. Absolutely. Let me go to here. Be careful comparing yourself to others. Yep, you're absolutely right, Jonathan. Jabron is in the house. Another Patreon member of ours, man. Jabron is dope. Getting his stuff done. He's a vet who is in the IT and has fantastic skills on the IT side. Marvin Williams says, I think of getting a side gig in sales position to build my soft skills confidence to deter potential imposter syndrome in the future. Absolutely. And I say this, Marvin, get those skills up. You get those skills up, man, you're going to be in a good position, and it's going to be very difficult for you to suffer from imposter syndrome. And I think a lot of times what the situation is we just don't feel like we have the skill set. We don't feel like we belong. Somebody's told us some things that they failed in their lives before. Just because they failed, that doesn't mean you're going to fail. People haven't showed you the way. You got people now who are willing to show you the way. Myself, PBO, Anton, Before the Billions, Jabron, Noah, all these guys are doing fantastic things. Master IT, right? Kevin Tech Support. Kevin Tech IT Support. Another one. All of us are showing you guys with receipts that we get it done. That's the thing. You can get it done, guys. You can get it done. I love that. What else you got, brother? PBO.
Oh, that's it. I'm about to jump down. Everybody, subscribe. Everybody, I'm gonna meet y'all at the Patreon on Black Heights. So let's get in the Patreon and support them so we can do some big things together and make some major moves. Like I said, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm trying to look at my next. I'm trying to buy my first commercial buildings under 10 units and above 4. Right, 5 and up is commercial. So that's gonna be my next step. That's to get in that commercial life. So I got a bunch of commercial life. PBO, you're gonna know. You're gonna have to teach me that one because I'm not in the commercial yet. I'm not there yet, but believe me, I will be there one of these days. I'm following another guy on YouTube, and he's kind of got this commercial thing. He's been in the game, so I think I'm gonna use him because, long story short, when you do non-commercial, they have to tell you everything wrong with the property. Or you can break your law and sue. Commercial, you on your own. If you miss something, that could be $100K. That's you just by yourself, man. So that's true. That's a different game. So I got a few, courses I'm doing and moving. So I'm actually currently looking at a 6-unit building. So, but when you look at 6-unit building, it's $480,000. My heart started palpitating a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, 480 on one deal." When you get a double.
Well, check this out too. On the commercial loans, you have to put a higher percentage down on it as well too. That's the thing, right? Yeah. I mean, like even for residentials, multifamilies, I think it's 25%. My bank has asked me for residential doing residential multifamily that's under 4. It's typically 25%, at least the bank that I work at, or work through. The commercial loans, I think it's even higher than that. I think it may be close to 30%, right?
It is, yeah. The one I look back, my bank said 30. So I was doing a burst strategy, so I was going to use that to get my initial down payment, then use commercial for the other half. Then honestly, once I get it cash flowing, I can just take my money back out, let it pay it off, and pay my mortgage and take that money and do another deal. But you don't want to get overextended. We're gonna say that for the Patreon. We're gonna say that game for the Patreon. But so once again, don't be nervous, man. I'm a guy, man, and this the last thing I'm gonna say is I work in corporate America. I work for the government. I work for DOD. It's a normal bell curve. 15% of your guys are going to be brilliant. 20% of your guys don't know what the hell they're doing. You're going to be right in the middle of the curve. You're going to be fine. Most people are just average in this business. So if you're working on your skills and working on your craft, you can be just fine out there. Don't have imposter syndrome. Most of them dudes are below average. You'll be fine. I promise you that.
Man, I appreciate you for coming on here, brother PBO, man. I appreciate you, brother.
It, man. I'm sure I'll see you again probably Saturday.
Yes, sir. You'll see me on Saturday, man. You enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
You too. Everybody get on the ground. Let's get it.
Appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
Peace out. See, that's it. I mean, you think about it. I mean, we have the examples of people who gets it, who's done it, and not only just in the corporate life. Here's the thing. Wrong button. We have people who've done it in multiple aspects of their life as well too. Real estate, investment strategies. All this is going to be information that we're going to be talking about in our Patreon too. And guys, again, if you want to be part of the inner circle, go ahead and join. I'm going to have only about 4 slots left. At least that's what I have right now for the premium Patreon members. Come on through, become part of the inner circle. Help us grow this thing, man. I appreciate you guys though. But let me do this. Let me read the rest of the chats to make sure I haven't missed anything. And then what I'll do is I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of your day, because I have a show today with Erica Williams at 5:30. Oh, Jabron's in the house. We got brother Jabron in the house. How you doing, brother?
All good, man. I appreciate you. What's the do?
Man, not much, man. I talked to Jabron. That was like 2 days ago, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. What you got? What you got on the topic today, brother? What you got on here for us, man?
It's just like you told me, man. Like, stop fearing that someone's going to call you out because they can. Like, you already know what you can do. A lot of people that you feel like are over smart are really fake. They just know the vernacular, like it's like that dude in college who got a 4.0.
Yep.
But if you left him on the corner, he couldn't find his way home. Like what's smart really? Like just because they know the terms don't mean anything. Like if you know how to execute, and you're proud of what you did, you put in honest day's work, like you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Can't do nothing with you.
I love that. What I'm hearing you say, Jabron, is this, man. Is like, I think there's 3 kind of people that exist. There's competent people, there's people who are confident, and there's people who are kind of have a little bit of both, right? And a lot of people who suffer from, I think the people who have a lot of confidence, they don't suffer from imposter syndrome, but they know how to play it off. And well, let me put it like this. They know how to, their confidence allow for them to not really have that, imposter syndrome. And that's another thing too, is that's the reason why you have those self-talks with yourself and tell yourself that you can do it, because you're confident then. And here's the thing, you can be competent and have imposter syndrome because you don't have the confidence. That's what it is. You want to get to a point where you actually are confident, guys. When you are confident because you put in the work, like LeBron just said, and you tell yourself that you can do it, and you have the skills, and you put you put in the work, guys, you're going to be able to get it done. You're going to be able to get it done. So gain that level of confidence, man. I love that you said that, brother.
Yeah, man. It's, like I told you, it's something I struggle with all the time, but you just got to keep reminding yourself who you are. I think Jocko Willink, he was talking about like just veterans, right? And the PTSD we go through and the disconnect we feel with the world once we get home.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to remember, you're still that person that did those things with those group of men. You're still the same person. Like whoever you were is who you are. You did those things in the flesh. It wasn't a simulation. So you got the skills. The confidence is part of it. The great American philosopher, Jay-Z said, rumble, young man, rumble, because they'll try to dim your lights and tell you be humble. So you got to be wary of that too.
And even your own people will try to dim your lights to tell you to be humble. Rumble, man. Sure. I love that. Man, I love that, man. I What verse was that from Jay-Z, man? What verse was that, man?
Yeah, bro, I forget. I got them all in my head, jumbled up. I forget. It was one of the older albums, though.
That's dope.
But that's the thing I struggle with, because you don't want to come across as cocky.
Yep.
And you want to be open to learning. You want to be personable, right? At the same time, there has to be a line somewhere. And it doesn't have to be external, right? It could be an internal limit where it's like, you know what, I'm done down myself. I just got to jump into it. It's entrepreneurship. Yeah. Whether it's entrepreneurship on the job or whatever, you jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down.
That's it. And that's a huge piece of it, brother Jabron. And I think that even goes towards like, it's not going to be perfect, man. Just go forward. Take that step. Figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. If you believe in if you're a Christian, then you got to know even the perfect man got killed. So,
yep.
There's no guarantees in life. You just got to do it. And then at the end of the day, that's how you avoid regrets. You do all you can do. And at the end of the day, you're like, well, I did all I could do. Not all you felt like doing, though. All you could actually do.
Yep. I love it.
It's out of your hands.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it, man. And that's the thing, right? I love that you said that too, Jabron. It's that, we all face it. We all face it a lot of times in our lives. And the thing is that how do you pull yourself from actually doing that, right? And I think, like you said, right, it's the self-talks, the building the confidence, the having a brag list, all that stuff that I talked about is very important. And that's going to help us relieve ourselves from that piece of it. Because no matter what, the media, our sources around us is always going to say what we can't do, what somebody can't do, have us rank ourselves with somebody else, make us feel like we aren't worthy,
right.
Make us feel like we shouldn't be there. And at the end of the day, all that is fear, and it causes a lot of this imposter syndrome stuff. But at the end of the day, if you consistently practice what you preach, you are open to learn, you are giving yourself those self-talks, you are around people who are telling you that you can do it, you have a wife or a spouse that could telling you and giving you that confidence, and you're surrounding yourself with good people and you're putting in the work, you're going to get over that. You're going to get over that imposter syndrome very, very fast. Very, very fast. To make the right step forward.
That's a fact. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Living in the city, man. Sun, it's about to be winter up here, so they try to get those motorcycle rides in for the winter hit for real. But yeah, that's it, man. Just remember who you are, and it got to come from you first. That's why. What's his name? Cat Williams, right?
Yep.
He said it's called self-esteem. How's someone going to change how you feel about you? It's self-esteem. It's you. It comes from you. Don't get caught up in vanity metrics and someone in the same industry or got the same business you have and they have more likes. You can't go to the bank and cash out likes. So it's irrelevant. You can't cash out shares. What you can do, though, is look at your industry, like from a digital marketing perspective. There's no way a digital marketer should have 1.7 million followers. Digital marketing is not that popular. So I don't even care nothing about that. It's just not that popular. That's not something that people talk about that often for you to be up there with a Kardashian, right? So it's irrelevant. You gotta sometimes bring yourself down and actually look at the real world and what's going on. And also, if you're not in the Patreon, you're losing.
There you go. I love it, man. I love it, brother Jabron, man. I absolutely love it, man. If you're not on the Patreon, you're absolutely losing, man. You're absolutely losing. I appreciate you, brother Jabron. Anything you got else for the folks here, man?
That's it. I appreciate you. I hope everybody's well. Reach out if you need me, and yeah, man, let's keep pushing forward, man. There's no other direction to go.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Man, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts, man, and adding to this, man, and giving our brothers the confidence that they can do it. I mean, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing is in showing that we have people that are going in the right direction, and people want to be around like folks like us that are moving forward. Join the Patreon, guys. Brother Jabron is there. He has all the game and the knowledge as well, too, man. Coming from the beautiful state of Pennsylvania, man.
Yeah, man. For now, till the snow hit.
All right, brother. You enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Yes, sir. See you soon.
Peace out, brother. Talk to you later. Peace. That's it, guys. That's it. We got good people, man. We got good people here, willing to get the game, sharing it, and sharing it. Guys, I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. I appreciate you guys for joining today, having the conversation. Being open to share your stories, being part of the group. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for being a ladder climber. That's what it's about. Guys, here's the thing. When we are ladder climbers, we have to remember there are people who want to be in this position. There are hidden gems out there. We got to make sure that we keep our eyes open for those hidden gems. We have to make sure we keep our eyes open for those hidden gems. And in order for you to do that, you have to be a gem seeker. You have to get to that point where you're accomplished. You have to get to that point where you don't have, anything to complain about. Well, we all have things to complain about. But what I mean is the fact that we have to have our own level of success, wherever that is, whatever that is. And we have to share our success with others so that it can help them build that level of confidence to move forward. I want to see that statistic of 3.2% in these leadership positions move. I want to see that change, because I can tell you this right now, I'm going to be one of the ones, and I am one of the ones that's helping to drive that statistic up. And I want to see more who are going to be doing the same thing. And we're giving you this game so that you can do it, so that there's no reason why these diversity numbers are the way that they are. I want to see them better. It's one of those things where, in order for them to get better, we have to want to go towards those positions, and we have to be willing to get in positions of power. And a lot of it that's stopping us right now is imposter syndrome. It's not anybody else. It's imposter syndrome. We don't think that we belong there. Well, you do. And we just told you that you do. And I had people come on to the show to share with you that you do as well, too. But guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for rocking with Mr. Wade today with Black Heights. And I'll talk to you guys on Saturday. Sending love for the rest of the day to you and your peoples. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Spend some time with your family. Spend some time with your wife and your kids. And get to studying, man. Get that game, guys. I appreciate you, man. And until next time, y'all. Peace. Uncle Nick's in the house. I'm glad that you joined us, Uncle Nick. I didn't see you. I'm glad that you came through, my brother. Another fantastic content creator, Uncle Nick, coming from the the wonderful San Antonio, man. I love it, brother. Brother, Uncle Nick said this: what baffles me is the folks burning energy to be a fraud when they can use the same energy to be genuine. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Mr. Nix, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Mr. Nix is fantastic, wonderful, genius, IT guru. You're not going to find anybody like Mr. Nix, I tell you that right now. A wealth of knowledge. Sharp brother. Uncle Nick, I appreciate you, man. Christian, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. PBO, I appreciate you. 227 says he's working as a UX designer. Go ahead and get that done. I appreciate you, 227. Free Agent 97, man, says he's gonna get that cloud computing. Do it. Make that money.